And welcome back, everybody. That MB coin pop-up happens every single time you start up the game and open up the iDroid. It's really annoying. I wish I could go offline so I don't have to see it anymore, but then I'd have to say goodbye to 80% of my resources. What can you do?
Two of our intel team members are being held captive by the PF in that area, the CFA. Your job is to rescue them. They don't have long to live. It appears that one of our two men has broken out of the encampment and is on the run. He contacted us to say he was surrounded. That's the last we heard from him. Your map is marked with a predicted field of movement based on where his transmissions cut off. The other man is still captive inside the encampment. Boss, rescue our men. Extract them both and get them back to Mother Base.
So, very easy mission. Go in, grab some of our intel team members, and run back out. Humorously enough, these guys aren't actually part of the Mother Base staff, so once you complete the mission, you just suddenly have extra Mother Base members who are apparently always there. Also, if you try to use the iDroid right after before Quiet jumps out of the helicopter, you can't manually tell her to scout or to attack certain positions. Also, I almost run into someone here.
Contacted us from that forest. The enemy PM already has troops spread out in a manhunt to find him. Keep your eyes open. Extract our man before their search team can find him. Check his location on your iDroid.
At first I thought this was a prisoner, and I just happened to run by him, but no, that wasn't it. Kind of humorous though that the soldier did jump out of the way, then tried to run out before, and not just immediately come out and start shooting at me. So today's loadout, we're going somewhat loud and proud and non-lethal. Got the Riot SMG here, which I don't think I've shown off before. It's not too bad of a gun, but I prefer the tranquilizer pistol.
Rescue the other target. Head for Gazeba camp.
So one of the side missions for this mission is getting the 4 reinforcements for the search team. It is kind of a pain in the ass because I don't know.
Roger that.
Because I don't know who is reinforcements and who was already here.
You extracted gave us all the intel he could. Now exactly where our other agent is being held captive. And he brought back intel on the CFA. Guy deserves a raise. Check it on your iDroid.
The map has been updated.
2 of the reinforcements clearly are these guys. They're wearing some kind of full armored body suit. Kind of makes my non-lethal attempts not really effective, considering tranquilizer darts can't penetrate their armor. But I do got one thing that could probably help out here. Our good old-fashioned flashbang grenades. Also, as an aside, for some behind-the-scenes editing, does anyone care about that? Well, I do. For some reason, at the point where Paz says that we got intel from the guy you extracted, for whatever reason, Adobe replayed the entire intro audio over that bit. So I had to eventually make a copy of the video. Oh damn, Quiet, she's no slouch when it comes to chain headshotting with a anesthetic rifle. So yeah, so I had to make a second copy of the same clip to actually get the proper audio instead of having it replay the intro stuff. I guess Adobe Premiere isn't as good as I thought it was. Also, those were the 4 reinforcements proper. We have 1 guy who takes a Jeep by himself and 3 guys who take another Jeep. I do believe I got this guy who takes a Jeep by himself, and as we saw, I got the other 2 guys who were in the full armor suits, but I didn't get their driver, and that's because he's a dickhead that stays behind and doesn't join the rest of his mates in trying to find the lost prisoner. So this is why I wasn't able to get the extract 4 guys on the previous run. Also, I want to show off the shotgun. It's the airburst shotgun. It's not that effective against their armor either. But hey, there we go. We got 4 out of 4.
Roger that. Our staff member on the roof.
So during this mission, Quiet is just going to be popping guys left and right, and I'm going to be frantically running around trying to find guys, going, God damn it, where's that last reinforcement guy? But, and yeah, I checked the mission task here and ultimately decided, you know what, I'll just do it later. And then I heard gunshots down this way, so I decided to check out what's going on. And hey, here's something I haven't seen since Metal Gear Solid 3, wildlife attacking enemy soldiers. I was thinking of rescuing the soldier, but he probably wouldn't really care for me, so, you know, I just let nature take its course, the circle of life. That happens in Africa, right? Then my dumbass immediately gets caught. But here's another side mission here, which is to extract 2 of the CFA members, lieutenants or something like that, as well as an extra prisoner that is not the Intel members. Now, these 2 guys here at this building don't spawn until you extract 1 of the 2 Intel members. I'm not too sure if the same thing happens about the prisoner. I'm not too sure, man. I'm just reading what the internet tells me. They also suggest I come back with Brennan rifles. Then I see Quiet's doing a pretty good job over there.
We got some information out of that soldier you extracted. His squad was on their way to the encampment to execute our intel team member. We also now know exactly where they're keeping the target. Sending the location to your iDroid.
I want you to know, Kaz saying that, or Kaz, sorry, says that we know exactly where they're holding the soldier, which is kind of weird.
It's got good visibility and not many places to hide. Use the landscape wherever possible.
We know that, Ocelot. This is our 3rd time coming back to this base. That's actually kind of a downside to this game, is everything kind of takes place in the same area. But, anyways, Kaz said where they're being held, except the soldier is actually hiding. He's not being held anywhere. But yeah, I'm just distracting everyone. I'm still trying to hold out hope that I'm grabbing the right guys, because there's actually 1 more side ops here, which is extracting a truck driver. The truck never seemed to have arrived, or maybe if it did, I just never found the guy.
That's the target. He's injured. Looks half-starved, too. There's no way he can stand the shock of a Milton extraction. Get him out by chopper.
So, of course, since the truck driver was a dickhead and didn't show up this run, I can't just throw this guy into the truck and extract the truck. So we'll just go ahead and hoof it.
They kept saying the disease was her fault. Just shouting it at me. Over and over. Kept saying, you think we're angry? The poor bastards from Massa Village will bleed you all dry for this.
I like the dramatic thunderclap there, as the soldier says that. Also, there's apparently a disease going around. I believe in the last mission, we've heard the enemy soldiers discussing amongst themselves about how there's a disease going on, and it was causing some strife between the 2 PFs. And then again, I'm just kind of desperate here. Like, come on, man. Let me find that truck guy. He has to be somewhere around here, right? Maybe this is the truck guy. No. Also, look at Pequod over there. Of his own free will, he starts shooting at some soldiers. I don't know if you can kind of exploit the system, so to speak. Because normally calling in air support locks your... You can't get an S rank if you call in Pequod. But I didn't intentionally call him for air support, I just wanted him to land here. And he attacked by himself.
Boss, on behalf of all the Diamond Dogs, thank you.
So someone can confirm if whether or not that affects your grade, and if that doesn't lock you out of a S rank, that'd be nice. And also, here he is, the truck driver. I still don't know why he didn't appear last time, because even if it was because I was in an alert phase, I'm in an alert phase right now as well. I don't know, maybe Quiet sniped him from some far off distance and he never showed up.
Picked up some movement. The squad is on its way to Gazeba camp. We've ID'd them as some CFA heavyweights. These aren't your everyday reinforcements. Whatever's about to happen, you need to get the target out now.
I've never heard that one last run. I'm not too sure what the what happens when it happens.
You never cease to amaze, boss.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
But there we go, mission complete. We can now make Quiet Silver.
Yes, mission complete. Boss, that was exceptional.
A rank? Nah.
To tell stories
I
about
want an
this
S
one,
rank.
boss.
Does anyone care if I actually get S ranks? Nah. I care. Oh great, now we can listen to Quiet's humming whenever we want.
Boss, one of the job offers we received concerns me.
Mission list
There's a PF
updated.
commander who's been talking big about getting into the nuclear arms trade. This could be connected to that yellow cake. And there's another contract I'd like you to handle. It's a wet job, but we need to divert Cypher's attention. Check the mission list for the details.
So those will be in our next video, but since the risk of losing some of his Mother Base members, boss wants to come back home and spend some time with the soldiers. There's some gossip going on about Quiet here. Also, if the audio suddenly gets quiet here, it's because I'm probably going to get slapped with a content ID thing. Also, while you can't use lethal weaponry in Mother Base, you can use non-lethal weaponry, and it is as fun as you think. Gonna go ahead and shower up. We want to look our best for all of our soldiers, you know, set a good example for everyone. And I'm finally gonna show off all of the target practice side missions here at Mother Base. Each strut has a set of sorry, the speed up kind of makes me chuckle. Each strut has its own target practice going on, each with different difficulties. The exception here is the command post strut. That one doesn't unlock until you upgrade the command strut 4 times. That's probably something you'd want to do anyways, because upgrading the command strut increases how many guys you can put on each strut all at once. If that doesn't make any sense, let me retry that. Increase the command post so you can put more soldiers into each fucking whatever. Each team. So you get, you know, most bang for your buck. Also at Mother Base, you got these loading cargo zones. You just jump inside of a box, stand on top of them, and you can fast travel at Mother Base. It's significantly faster than using a truck to drive between each strut, or to use P-Quad. Because P-Quad is pretty much a glorified cutscene anyways. I guess something that also happens on the main maps, like in Afghanistan and Africa, is we can find invoices that lets us do the same thing to travel between each base or outpost there. I'll probably show it off sometime. What is pretty nice though about running around with a rubber bullet gun, instead of running up to each soldier, you just stand somewhat nearby and just shoot them, and they'll thank you for it, and you get the increased morale bonus. So yeah, target practices, they each have varying difficulties. Usually they tend to have some sort of pathway, like right here, to kind of guide you to the next set of targets. Unfortunately, it doesn't last too long. Also, I don't claim to be a professional about how I go about these. You're gonna see me screwing up a lot. You're gonna see me taking much longer than I should be. You'll see me missing things way obvious. For example, in this strut right here, I'm not doing too hot. I will say, for this particular one, it's not as bad, but they do hide the dummies in some very devious spots, like here, right underneath that, all those girders. Just 3 more, come on, where can they be? Oh, here we go. Also, boss is kind of a dick. Man, that was just embarrassing. God damn. Let's see how that one soldier's doing. By the way, it is totally possible to kill Mother Base members, but you get a game over for it. So it's highly advised you don't do it. I should show off the screen at least once though, because it has Ocelot and Kaz yelling at Snake for doing it. Now this one is also somewhat difficult. You may have noticed I have already fucked myself over. Don't worry about it if you haven't seen it. But while this one does have, again, a sort of pathway going on, there's a lot of drop-off points, and I get way too overeager to drop off between spots. I end up just skipping places immediately. Also, I'm not a big fan whenever you're close to a railing or a wall or something, Snake will just put his gun back instead of, I don't know, aiming around or something. Yeah, this is just embarrassing. Just 2 more and I can't find them. Okay, just 1 more. Let's see if I can find it. You guys remember where I fucked up at? Man, I'm just fucking up everywhere today, aren't I? Yep, that's right. I missed this one at the very beginning. God damn it. Something else to note. You may have noticed I've been getting paid 30,000 every single time I do one of these. It's also repeatable. Like, but you have to leave Mother Base and then come back to Mother Base, which means you have to deal with 2 P-Quad loading screens to repeat them for only 30,000 a pop. I mean, I guess it's an option, but ultimately it's not worth it. This is my favorite one to support because everything is just right there. You don't have to run around. You don't have to go down a pathway or anything. Not too bad. I guess that's one that's worth grinding.
The pipes, huh? They're strong enough. Could make for a nice shortcut.
Also, we got an intermission here. Just going to say the following. I'm not proud of the following footage. The next set of target platform missions are fucking horrendous. Welcome to the R&D one. First 2, easy enough. That's as easy as it's gonna get. Thankfully, we can wear night vision goggles, which kind of helps because it highlights the different, it highlights the target dummies. You may notice there's like no set path right here so far. All of the targets are kind of fucking everywhere. Even having to do this. None of the other ones require you to go around the vents like this, but this one does. And ultimately, that's what makes the R&D one is such a pain in the ass. No pathway, freaking. Some are just off to the side, some are just underneath railings and pipings, and just, God. Whoever did the target, whoever placed the targets for this one, are a bunch of assholes. This is one I did end up having to use the internet to watch a video, but man, even after watching it a few times, I still have not got it committed to memory because they're just fucking everywhere. probably speed these up some more. Unfortunately, you can't shoot through the under grates like that. Kind of sucks. Here, just 6 more, and I also get lost in this area. It doesn't help that R&D is designed like crap. There's so many spots that I can't find a ladder to. I can't find stairways to. I just get lost running around in circles. Again, I am not proud of this. It honestly makes me wish I could interrogate the Mother Base members and ask them where all the goddamn targets are at. Just 3 more in only 30 seconds. Oh, 1 more. Where is it? It can be fucking anywhere. It could be goddamn anywhere. Oh wait, what was that? Oh shit. Goddamn, 9 seconds to spare. I was pretty frustrated at the end there. That run took me about 5 tries. Not only that, but should you die, there's no checkpoints after every single mission, every single side off here. Meaning that all the ones that I did previously, I had to fucking redo them all because the game didn't save my progress after doing the target missions on the other struts. What happened was when I was running out to the helipad on the R&D strut, I ran right off the helipad into the water. Game over. It may or may not have to do with my incredibly slow update schedule. I was not a happy camper with the R&D strut. Though this one isn't too much better. I eventually just go, fuck it. Let's just throw on the night vision goggles and try to get some high ground and just look down at everything. And I always seem to have this problem where I'm missing exactly one, and I always have problems finding it. Also, just to show off, you can punch and kick the targets if you want.
List updated.
And then finally, the command platform. Annoyingly enough, when you first appear at a helipad and the soldiers are there saluting you, they don't give you any morale bonus if you just walk past them. You gotta walk into them to make them notice that you're there. Now, command platform, in hindsight, isn't too bad because you see most of them are just right here. It's almost like the support platform in that way. And you may have noticed I fucked myself again, but we'll get to that when we get to that. This one, I thought it may have been as bad as the R&D, so I started just running all over the place, looking all over the place, just in case they were going to be dicks again and start demanding I parkour across the pipelines. Also, I picked up their Font battleship around Mother Base, particularly here in the command strut. As you upgrade each strut, you can find emblem parts scattered about the base. Let's just assume I grab them all, and don't ask me to make a video looking for all of them because, my god, I can barely find freaking targets. What makes you think I can find all these optional emblems? And then I just go here, okay, let's just stand far as we can and just look everywhere. And this is when I realized that Konami are a bunch of assholes. Thanks, guys. Putting them right down there. They're fucking swell. And now these last two, geez, just where could they be? Even though I have the video sped up, I'm pretty sure you saw where the last two were at. And I felt like a fucking retard when I finally found them. Oh, hey, what's that? Jeez.
Side-ops list updated.
So there we go. That is all of the target practice missions for Mother Base. Again, they're repeatable, but I'm not fucking touching them ever again. Now, a few other things here at Mother Base. You may notice there's a few wall scrolls around. I gotta find the nerd who's been putting up all these idol girl posters all over the walls. I guess as a bonus we can put them on our cardboard box now. Pretty sure it's Huey's fault. Also here at Mother Base, you can interrogate the guards, and usually they give out some useful information. Usually. Sometimes. This guy is not one of those people. Thanks, jackass. Some of the other things that they can tell you about is they'll mark down the diamonds that are scattered around Mother Base. They're not 2 great diamonds, they're just 10k diamonds. Again, if you want to grab some extra money, you can do that. Oh hey, thanks. I didn't know I could use my pistol while holding someone. Jackass. Well, maybe 3rd time's the charm. Let's see if this guy has any useful information.
Boss. Spit it out.
Hey, that's not too bad. So this is some of the useful advice the guards will tell you about. They'll tell you if the enemy starts like carrying stuff like flashlights or helmets or body armor and whatnot. Sadly, I can't give them a thumbs up, so I'll just knock. So guys, I'll be seeing you all next
I have
time.
the report on that cargo we stole from Cypher's truck. The PF was transporting 2 things. The analysis of that malachite has come back first. Naturally, the main compound is copper. There's also a small amount of cobalt. Nothing unusual so far. Southern Zaire is a well-known copper belt. However, in addition to these, we also detected a trace amount of uranium. The content percentage, though, is too low for nuclear development. It most likely came from Shinkolobwe mine. That's where the uranium in that area comes from. The mine's closed, as all the high-purity uranium ore dried up a long time ago, but you could probably still find it there in small quantities. That said, there are plenty of other uranium mines that are in operation, like in Niger, Namibia, South Africa. Why go to an abandoned mine to scrape up whatever's left and ship it out in mass quantities without refining it? They were transporting that yellow cake too, which would suggest they have the technology to refine uranium. Anyway, that about sums it up. Unfortunately, the analysis of that yellow cake is taking a little longer. I'll let you know when it's done. Boss, sorry to keep you waiting. We finally finished analyzing that yellow cake Cypher was moving. There was nothing unusual about the composition of the yellow cake itself. Most of it was oxidized uranium, with the rest being impurities, various metals as well as traces of organic matter. What's interesting is the composition of these impurities. When we checked them against the impurities found in the copper ore, it was clear the yellow cake didn't come from Shinkolobwe, meaning they went to the trouble of mining 2 sources of uranium, then transported them together in different states. Another thing, we detected a very thin layer of highly enriched uranium in the middle of the yellow cake. Now that is very interesting. It may not be a lot, but it points to the existence of uranium-enriching technology. After all, yellow cake can't naturally produce highly enriched uranium. If they could mass produce this, they'd be just 1 step away from a gun barrel type nuclear bomb. But uranium enrichment requires advanced technology and a large-scale facility. If that kind of place existed in Zaire, the Soviet Union wouldn't sit idly by. And there's another question. Where were they transporting the yellow cake and malachite uranium? The first place that comes to mind is South Africa. The government was supposed to have abandoned nuclear weapons development after caving to international pressure. But rumors persist that it's continued in secret. Plus, ZRS were escorting the truck, and they're based out of South Africa. And then South Africa does have an abandoned test site. If Cypher's involved with nuclear development in South Africa, but how would that fit with their weapon to surpass Metal Gear? We need more information.
Shinkolobwe. There's a name I haven't heard in a while.
The U.S. bought a lot of uranium from Shinkolobwe mine during World War II for the Manhattan Project. They even sent a squad from the Army Corps of Engineers to reopen the mine after it was flooded. That's how good its uranium must have been. With that, the world's first nuclear test was a success. Shinkolobwe uranium might have been used in the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombs too. Just hearing its name is like seeing all the phantoms of the war rise up to haunt us. But all the uranium's dried up, and the mine's been closed for years.
So someone reopened it.
Right. Zero Risk Security seized control of the area and were forcing locals to work in it. And the Zairean government was getting a slice of what they took in exchange for looking the other way. Mobutu has to finance his tastes somehow. He'll gladly sell the rights to some old mine. The question is, why would Zero Risk Security do this kind of thing?
Or rather, why were their employers, Cypher, interested in an abandoned mine? Maybe getting trace amounts of uranium, yet to the naked eye it appears to be ordinary malachite, meaning security would be lax. Not a very efficient way of obtaining it, but easier to move.
But how would they enrich it at its destination?
Did the yellow cake really have a layer of highly enriched uranium in it?
Having trouble believing it?
No. If they say it's real, then it's real. In which case, they might have some enrichment method that we don't know about.
And this was to test it out?
It's possible. And that would mean it's almost complete.
Zero Risk Security aren't as hardcore a military outfit compared to the other two PFs in this region. The company sends operators to conflict regions around the world, not just Africa. They have decades of combined experience. They're also based out of South Africa. Their headquarters is in Johannesburg. A lot of their work involves corporate security for South African companies, but a good number of their operators are retired South African military. So don't mistake them for a bunch of security guards. Rogue Coyote operates mainly out of Africa these days. Of the three PFs, they're the smallest. However, they scooped up most of the Rhodesian SAS after the country collapsed 4 years ago. Picture their entire organization as one big special forces unit. With Rhodesia a British colony, the Rhodesian SAS had its origins in 22 SAS Sea Squadron. They started out as a group known as the Southern Rhodesia Volunteers, but in '51 they were incorporated into 22 SAS as members of the British Commonwealth and deployed to fight guerrillas in the Malayan Emergency. Even now, 22 SAS keeps the Sea Squadron designation empty in recognition of their service. In a way, you could say the SAS almost makes up the core of Rogue Coyote. Later on, they were bolstered by other talent, including former Celis Scouts and 32 Battalion. These guys are direct descendants of the best special forces in the world. They won't go down without a fight. Don't get careless. Kunganga Mine. A civil war's been going on in that region for the last 20 years. It's being fought by what are now two ethnic groups, the Buta and the Mbele. Originally, you could barely tell them apart, but the reason for the current armed conflict goes back to World War I. After the war, their land was colonized by a European power, and it decided to give local control to the Buta. That split the two groups into rulers and subjects, laying the foundations for an inevitable civil war. The friction between them remained even after they won independence from Europe. The Buta are holding on to power to this day, and the Mbele rebels continue to fight back. The conflict is funded by locally mined gold, rare metals, diamonds. They've used the money from those to arm themselves, buy oil, and even hire PFs. The Buta administration owns the mining rights to Kunganga Mine. But most of the laborers are Mbele, who they've taken prisoner. The product they've gouged out of their land is bought up by cheap Western corporations. And the civil war is fueled by the profits. That's how it goes. One country's people is split apart by another country. Then the two groups tear up their own land for money in order to fight each other. Now this civil war started by a foreign power is the norm, and it's sucking up all the country's resources. PFs are just the same. They follow the money, taking war with them wherever they go. That goes for us too. It's an endless river of bloody retaliation, and we're standing downstream. Should we make a stand and staunch the flow? Or wade in amongst the corpses and make a bigger splash than the rest? We'll follow your lead, boss.